Story 1. Malicious compliance. As long as you work here, you have to work that weekend. First time poster, apologies for any formatting issues. Many years ago, I worked hospitality, friendly local bar, good staff, locals, and management. All in all, a pretty good gig. My girlfriend at the time was studying about 5 hours drive away and was an ex-workmate at the same bar. We'd worked together over the summer and then got together once university started. Our local sports team had a game coming up in a couple of months playing in her city. It was always a big party night in a student town, so I decided to get tickets and take the weekend off to spend time together. Duly put my leave request in, and with 6 weeks to go, this was accepted by management. Everything was looking good for a great long weekend away with her. Nearly a month later, on a Thursday, 15 days out from the big event, my boss came to me and said as he had decided to attend the game, he was canceling my leave and I would have to do closing shifts over that weekend. I argued he had accepted my leave. I already had tickets and had also booked accommodation for some sweet after-match interaction, so this wouldn't work. This was when he uttered the statement in the title. Cue malicious compliance. I instantly saw the solution, literally grabbed a napkin off the bar and wrote my resignation out under his nose and handed it to him. He refused to accept it. I informed him that it would be foolish to not have cover for me starting in 14 days, as that was my notice period and I was going regardless of whether he accepted or not. Outcome: I had a marvelous weekend away. He had to work that weekend as he was unable to replace me, and when I bumped into his wife a week after returning home, she told me he had been slammed on game night and they still hadn't replaced me, and eventually asked, could I come back? We agreed to a meeting time and had a good chat about things, and I got offered my old job back with another $1.50 per hour thrown in. I ended up working for him another 4 years with no drama after that. Edit, formatting, and a typo. Thanks for all the support and awards. I wasn't expecting this much activity on my first post. Guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, just take a second now and click that subscribe button. It does help support me a lot, and I really appreciate it. Good for how OPs stand up for their rights. In this case, the OP's manager last-minute change of heart was unfair and unprofessional, and OP's on-the-spot resignation is both clever and a bold move. It's interesting how, after the dust settled, OP's manager realized the value of OP and even offered a higher wage to come back. This story serves as a reminder that employees have rights and should not be afraid to assert them when necessary. It also shows that sometimes, sticking to your principles can lead to positive outcomes, even if it involves a bit of malicious compliance. Story 2. AITA for not allowing my SIL to move in with us when she has nowhere else to live? My wife and I have been arguing about this for days, and we're at an impasse. It's gotten to the point where I have to check my cameras at work to make sure she doesn't move her sister in while I'm at work. My wife has a sister, Jill, who has a storybook memory. She regularly recounts events in her life that is heavily exaggerated or straight up never happened. For example, she tells people she has a business degree and gives financial advice when in fact she only has an associate degree and has never worked in financing. She also brags about playing basketball in high school and her team going to state but losing to the rich school. Spoiler alert, she didn't play basketball in high school and doesn't have the coordination to dribble a ball and walk, much less run and shoot it. She also tells tales of being mistreated by her parents, which I doubt based on my personal involvement. For example, we celebrated Christmas with my in-laws and she posted on her social media about how her mother yelled at her in front of people and told her to eat less to be less fat. I was in the same house with her for a week and never noticed anything like that. The only time I witnessed a confrontation between her and my MIL was when my MIL told her to flush the toilet after each use. She recently made accusations against her employer for being mistreated on her social media. Instead of going to HR, someone told on her and the company did an investigation which included recordings which disproved her story. I don't know the details, but I know she was let go. Now that she's jobless, she can't pay her rent. Jill brings drama whenever she goes with her tales of being mistreated. I work hard and home is my sanctuary. I don't want her to bring any drama to my sanctuary, which brings us to the present. My wife argues that her sister has nowhere else to go, and I pointed out she has several other siblings and parents who refuse to take her in. I understand and love that my wife is a compassionate person, but she can't save the world and I have to draw the line somewhere. I feel bad that my wife cries over this, but not bad enough to allow the emotional tornado that is her sister live with us. Am I an AH? Guys, if you're not subscribed, hit the bell notification now or else. I think OP's sister could help her sister find a temporary shelter or assist her in finding a job. Also, it's important to reach out to other family members to see if they can provide assistance or temporary accommodation for Jill. It's not solely OP's responsibility, and her parents and other siblings should also consider helping. It's beneficial for her to seek therapy or counseling to address her behavior exaggerations and drama. OP, encourage your wife to support her sister in finding professional help.
Subscribe for daily Reddit stories. Story 3. BF's brother thinks, because he lives in the house, he can have whatever he wants. TLDR, BF's brother doesn't help out around the house, leaves trash, takes family members' stuff without asking, and so much more. Long-time lurker, first-time posting. This will be very long, just an FYI. Labeled NSFW because of swearing, not sure if it counts, but someone can correct me and I will remove it. English is my first language, I'm just dyslexic and bad at spelling. Apologies. I, 19F, have been staying at my boyfriend's, 25M, apartment for the past several months. I want to preface that I do have my own apartment that I pay for. I have just been staying with him so I can spend more time with him. Also, what I will be discussing in this post has been happening long before I started dating my BF. My boyfriend, who I will call Ryan for the sake of this post, lives with his mom, who has mobility issues and is older, and brother, 30M, who I will call Tyler. All three have been through some tough situations in their lives, and so they all still live together. They do split bills, but it is odd. Their mom pays for most of the rent payment, and groceries if needed. Ryan pays for groceries, internet and cable, Netflix, Disney Plus, etc., and Tyler pays for their phone bill. I'm not sure why, but that's how it is. Recently Ryan has been helping with rent too. Tyler makes enough to help out with bills, and then some, but says he has to pay for other stuff. Both Ryan and Tyler received a decent sum of money as an inheritance from a grandparent as well. He will leave messes in the kitchen, i.e., if he heats up stuff in the microwave, he will leave the trash on the counter, or just uneaten food, opened medicine bottles on the counter, which are knocked over one way or another onto the floor, when their dog/cat could get into, and when confronted, he will come up with some bullshit excuse about how he is too tired, or he is too depressed, or whatever. I'm not saying that we're dismissing the fact that he has depression, both myself and Ryan have it too, but he does absolutely nothing to help himself out of it, and just uses it to manipulate his mother mostly. Tyler doesn't have any method of transportation for himself. He doesn't own a car, or scooter, college town, because he has wrecked so many cars that his insurance is unbelievably high, and he doesn't want to pay it. So instead, he will guilt trip his mother into using her car to go to work. He has a bicycle that Ryan had bought for him, and a bike lock, and his work would be at most a 10-minute bike ride, but it's only like 5 in the car, and he is simply lazy. He also works overnight shifts as well, which I will explain in a second. So because his work schedule is different, my boyfriend has to work specific hours in order to pick up his mom from her work, because his brother has her car. And whenever he wants to go see a girl, he will just take the car without asking, and a lot of the time, his mom needed it. Tyler and Ryan also have separate drawers in the fridge for their personal food items, which Ryan and his mother buy since they pay for groceries, and if Tyler doesn't like the thing that he got, or he runs out, he will eat Ryan's. Ryan has told him multiple times to stop, and if he wants something different to buy it himself, but Tyler says that because he lives there and buying groceries isn't his job, he can take whatever he wants. All of this stuff happens all the time, but more recently he was having a girl over, which I will get into in a second. His ex broke up with him a few months ago. She was basically AP, she didn't have a job, and another man was paying her rent. In return, she would have sex with the other guy. Tyler knew this, but thought she actually loved him. This was not the case. He paid her rent multiple times, had bought a Switch and was letting her use it, etc. Then right after he paid her rent, she dumped him. He let her keep the Switch. This becomes important in a second. A few days ago, Tyler had a different girl over, and asked Ryan to use a console to watch a show. Ryan has a PS4/5 and a Switch, but Ryan said no because Tyler doesn't take care of his stuff when he has let him before, and Tyler had given the one he had to his ex. We had left right afterwards to go hang out. Tyler texted Ryan and said that they were going out to the movies instead. We get back late at night and I was chilling in Ryan's bed watching some YouTube. I noticed that my pillow that I had brought from my house that I used to cuddle or put between my legs was missing. I mentioned this to Ryan, and he was puzzled, as we didn't take it with us or remove it from the room. I asked him to check Tyler's room, as I had a hunch at this point, and he goes to his room and finds it in Tyler's bed with him passed out. At this point I am livid and have had multiple things happen that were less than ideal, and I start sobbing. Ryan sends an angry text to Tyler and tries his best to comfort me, but I am extremely exhausted and I needed the pillow to sleep, but I needed it to be washed first since a random person had used it. Both Ryan and his mom want to kick him out, but his name is on the lease, so they can't. They also can't move out because they don't have enough money. They were even discussing moving before Ryan and I started dating, and Tyler said something along the lines of, well, if we all pitched in we would have enough. Ryan immediately said that he doesn't do that now, and that's the reason why they don't have enough to move. Their mom has been through a lot that is personal and is not for me to get into, but she is such a nice lady and doesn't deserve it. It makes me so angry. There is so much more that I haven't mentioned, but this is already super long. Edit: to answer a few commonly asked questions, yes, the simple solution would just be to stay at my place. But I have a bunch of medical stuff happening at the moment, and it's not safe for me to be alone. My new roommate won't be here for a few more weeks. Ryan can't stay with me because he helps out his mom daily with basic tasks that she can't do herself. I don't not bother Tyler ever. I almost never leave Ryan's room, so he doesn't even know I'm here most of the time. Guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, just take a second now and click that subscribe button. It does help support me a lot, and I really appreciate it. This is a challenging situation, and it's clear that Tyler's behavior is causing a lot of frustration and stress for OP, your boyfriend Ryan, and his mother. Tyler's behavior seems to be a significant issue, and it's impacting the quality of life for everyone. The fact that he takes advantage of the situation and doesn't contribute to bills or groceries, despite having the means, is unfair. His disregard for personal boundaries, such as eating Ryan's food without permission and taking your pillow without asking, is not acceptable. It shows a lack of respect for the belongings and privacy of others. Unwillingness to take responsibility for his actions, citing depression or other excuses, is problematic. While mental health struggles are valid, using them as a manipulation tactic and not seeking help or making an effort to improve his situation is red flag. It's evident that Tyler's behavior is straining the relationships within the household, causing frustration and emotional distress for everyone involved. OP: it's best to have a serious conversation with your boyfriend, his mother, and Tyler about his behavior and its impact on the house. Address the financial and emotional toll his actions are taking on all of you and the fact that he's taking advantage of his family's generosity. Encourage Tyler to seek help for his mental health struggles, as it's not an excuse for harmful behavior. Consider seeking legal advice regarding the lease and possible options for removing Tyler from the living situation if he continues to be a disruptive and uncooperative housemate. Ultimately, communication is key in resolving this situation, but it may also require more substantial actions if Tyler refuses to change his behavior and contribute positively to the household. Subscribe for daily Reddit stories.